Hello everyone, you are on the channel. Who created it and how? Today, let's talk about something we use every single day. Something that probably saw you this morning. The mirror. But have you ever stopped to wonder, where did the first mirror come from? Who was the brilliant mind behind this essential tool? Well, the answer isn't a single person, but a journey through human history. Our story begins long before glass and silver. Imagine ancient people thousands of years ago, peering into a still pool of water. That was humanity's first mirror, a fleeting reflection provided by nature. But you can't carry a pond in your pocket, right? So, the quest for a portable mirror began. The earliest known manufactured mirrors date back around 8,000 years to ancient Anatolia, what we now call Turkey. These weren't glass mirrors. They were made from obsidian, a type of naturally occurring volcanic glass. Archaeologists have found beautifully crafted, polished slabs of obsidian that were used as mirrors. Imagine the work involved. People would grind and polish these dark volcanic stones for hours, maybe even days, until they achieved a surface smooth enough to reflect a dim, distorted image of themselves. It wouldn't be crystal clear like our mirrors today, more like a shadowy, mysterious version of your face staring back at you. But for its time, it was revolutionary. From there, the technology spread. In ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, around 4000 to 3000 BC, people started using polished metals. Copper was a popular choice. They would take a disc of copper and polish it to a high shine. The Egyptians, famous for their love of cosmetics and personal grooming, held these polished copper mirrors as prized possessions. They were often decorated with intricate handles in the shape of gods or animals. These weren't just tools. They were status symbols, objects of art and religious significance. Looking into one was like gazing at your reflection in a warm, reddish glow. The ancient Chinese also created mirrors from polished bronze and even speculum metal, a highly reflective alloy of copper and tin. These mirrors were often placed in tombs, believed to have protective powers and to light the way for the deceased in the afterlife. The backs of these bronze mirrors were frequently adorned with complex patterns, cosmological diagrams, and inscriptions, making them fascinating historical artifacts. The Romans also made significant contributions. While they continued to use polished metals like silver, they were among the first to experiment with glass. Pliny the Elder, a Roman author, wrote about attempts to create mirrors by backing glass with metal. However, the technique wasn't perfect. They would blow a small bubble of glass and then pour molten lead into it. Once it cooled, they'd break the glass bubble apart, leaving small, curved pieces of glass coated with a thin layer of lead. The reflections were poor and distorted, so polished metal mirrors remained more popular for a long time. It was a good idea, but the technology just wasn't there yet. So for centuries, the world relied on polished metal. But these mirrors had a major downside. They tarnished easily. You'd have to constantly polish your bronze or silver mirror to keep it from getting dull and cloudy. This was a real hassle. The dream of a clear, permanent, and easy-to-maintain mirror was still just a dream. The major breakthrough, the invention of the mirror as we know it, didn't happen until the Renaissance. And the place where it all came together was the floating city of Venice, Italy. During the 15th and 16th centuries, Venetian glassmakers on the island of Murano became the undisputed masters of their craft. They developed a superior type of clear, flawless glass called cristallo. This was the perfect canvas for a mirror. Then they perfected the backing process. Instead of using lead, the Venetians developed a secret method. They would press a thin sheet of tin onto a piece of glass, then cover the tin with a layer of mercury. The mercury would amalgamate or fuse with the tin, creating a brilliant, highly reflective layer. This was the silvering process, and it was a closely guarded trade secret. The Venetian mirrors were breathtaking. They were incredibly clear, almost without distortion, and captured light beautifully. For over 150 years, Venice held a complete monopoly on high-quality glass mirrors. These weren't items for the average person. They were a symbol of extreme wealth and luxury. Kings, queens, and nobles across Europe paid fortunes for a Venetian mirror. They were so valuable that they were often listed in a noblewoman's dowry alongside jewels and land. Spies from other countries desperately tried to steal the secrets of the Murano glassmakers. Owning a Venetian mirror was like owning a supercar today. The famous Hall of Mirrors in the Palace of Versailles is a testament to this era of mirror luxury. It was a jaw-dropping display of wealth and power, all thanks to Venetian craftsmanship. But secrets can't be kept forever. In the 17th century, a few Venetian artisans were lured to France, bringing the coveted mirror-making techniques with them. This broke the Venetian monopoly, and soon mirror manufacturing began to spread throughout Europe. France in particular became a major competitor, developing its own methods to produce large, high-quality mirrors. The next great leap forward came in the 19th century. As you can imagine, working with mercury is incredibly dangerous. It's highly toxic, and the vapors cause serious health problems, and even death for the workers. A more humane and efficient method was needed. In 1835, a German chemist named Justus von Liebig invented the modern mirror-making process. He discovered a way to apply a thin layer of metallic silver to glass through a chemical reaction. This process, known as silvering, involved using silver nitrate. It was cheaper, safer, and produced an even better, more durable reflection than the mercury tin method. This is essentially the same technique used to make most mirrors today. Von Liebig's invention democratized the mirror. Suddenly, mirrors were no longer a luxury item reserved for the ultra-rich. Mass production became possible, and prices dropped dramatically. For the first time in history, ordinary people could afford to have a clear, high-quality mirror in their homes. This had a profound impact on society, art, and even our sense of self. It changed how we saw ourselves, both literally and figuratively. So, who made the first mirror? It wasn't one person. It was the ancient people of Anatolia polishing obsidian. It was the Egyptians and Mesopotamians shining copper discs. It was the Venetian artisans perfecting their secret mercury process. And it was Justus von Liebig, whose chemical genius made the mirror an everyday object. From a still pool of water to the high-tech mirrors we have today, the story of the mirror is a reflection of human innovation, our desire to see ourselves, and our endless quest to perfect our world. It's a journey of thousands of years of trial and error, artistry, and scientific breakthroughs. So the next time you look in the mirror, take a second to appreciate the incredible history staring back at you. You are looking at the result of centuries of human ingenuity. Thanks so much for joining us on Who Created It and How. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories behind the everyday objects we take for granted. See you next time.